Hello, hello, everybody. It's Charles Alvarez. Welcome to what I believe was going to be the defining moment or the turning point in your business. We're going to walk you through today what it takes to scale your business and free up your time. So, if your business has basically robbed your life, as it has for so many of us business owners, I'm going to walk you through how to really enjoy the benefits that true business ownership has to offer. So, before we get too into the content, I want to make sure that I don't waste your time. So, I want to be very clear on who this webinar is intended to serve. So, first and foremost, this is for business owners who, number one, own a business that cannot run without you. In other words, if you feel like you're running an adult daycare or you're living in Groundhog Day where it's the same issues over and over and over again, you have absolutely come to the right place. That's number one. Number two, if you feel like you have a job instead of a business, in other words, if you are the asset and the asset is you, that basically means that you have a job instead of a business. A business is a system of systems that can run independently of anyone for its success. If the business revolves around you, you're not going to be able to scale your business. So, if I've just described you at a very high level, you're absolutely in the right place. And I'm here to tell you there is hope, ladies and gentlemen. Your business does not have to be a life of toiling and frustration and anxiety and stress. And oh my gosh, why doesn't my team just get it? And if I just found the right people for my business, we're going to walk you through 5 concepts today on what it takes to scale your business. And before I get too into it, the last thing that I want to do is dump more work and more to-dos on your shoulder. If after listening to this concept, if it makes sense to you what we talk about, I'm going to offer an opportunity for you to speak with us to help you implement or just implement these strategies for you. So this isn't a webinar where I'm going to throw a whole bunch of extra burdens or tasks on you because I know that's the last thing that you want or need. So just rest assured, take the next 45 minutes, sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and start seeing what it's going to take to truly free up your time to work on the business versus inside of the business. So imagine this just for a moment. This is what it actually is going to be like once you scale your business and free up your time. And y'all, we have done this for over 112 clients. This isn't a pipe dream that I'm going to walk you through or some, Shangri-La. These are actual things that we have seen done to our clients and in our clients every single day that we're in business. Number one is imagine being able to take a vacation without calls from your office. Like imagine going and having a vacation first and foremost, and second of all, going on that vacation with the peace of mind that everything is being taken care of at home. That's number one. Number two, imagine transforming your business into a well oiled machine that generates cash without you being present. Robert Kiyosaki said the definition of a business is an entity that allows you to leave the business for 30 days and come back finding the business equal to or better than when you left it. I'm going to walk you through the concepts on how to make that happen in your business today. Number three is your employees being a highly effective team. You know, when I was a kid, I remember asking my stepdad, what is the hardest thing about running your own business? And he said, finding the right people for my business. What we have found in practice is that oftentimes the right people are in your business. The problem is that we haven't implemented the right tools or resources to allow them to be successful. And rest assured, we are going to talk about how to take your team right now that seems to be just infuriating and hard to work with and just gosh, it's like gosh, I feel like I'm running like an adult daycare. We're going to transform your adult daycare into a business. and I'm going to walk you through how to turn your lazy, inept, ineffective employees into a highly, highly effective team that's going to allow you to achieve the freedom that you want. Next, imagine increased sales not meaning more work for you. I've talked to so many business owners and it breaks my heart. They say, Charles, of course I want to increase sales. Of course I want to make more money. Of course I want to expand. But my gosh, if I did that, every time I generate a new sale, that means more work for me. Well, I'm going to show you how to increase your sales without it meaning more work for you. And finally, streamlining your business and operations so that your business runs without you. One of the biggest misconceptions or myths out there is that you cannot sell a professional services practice. That is complete baloney, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the day, I have helped many business owners in professional services sell their business because we were able to systematize their business and show the buyer how to generate leads, how to close sales, how to fulfill services and products to the customer, how to retain customers, and do all of that without one person needing to be present in order for everything to happen. So that is not just a pipe dream, y'all. These are things that are within your grasp and within your reach. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to walk you through my proven and time-tested strategies that will transform your business from a business that requires you to a highly scalable, highly profitable business that doesn't require to function optimally without you. So sit back, enjoy the ride because we're going to have a blast with this. So I hope that this webinar leaves you with two things. Number one, some great ideas that you haven't taken into consideration before. And number two, the peace of mind that there is an answer out there for truly enjoying the true benefits of business ownership. In other words, really getting to the point to where instead of having a job, you have a business that you can actually do the things that you love to do versus the things that you have to do. So prior to getting into it, I want to provide you a gift for those of you that decide to stay through the end of this webinar. And that gift is the delegation template. The delegation template alone is a template that people have paid us anywhere between $300 to $1,000, depending on how they would like our help in actually implementing it in order to deliver that template. So I'm going to give that to you for free because the ability to delegate and to get tasks off of your plate and onto others while maintaining control of your business is highly, highly important and one of the most critical skills that you need to possess as you transform your business into a business that requires you, into a business where all we need you to do is to lead the ship forward, but not be involved in every single aspect of the day-to-day operations. So, does this sound like you? Number one, do you feel like your business has invaded every aspect of your life? In other words, do you feel like your business has wrapped its tentacles in every single point of your business? Well, this is good. This is going to be fun. Number two, are you hesitant to leave the day-to-day operations to your team? In other words, are you like, my gosh, my team is so incompetent. They even ask me questions that I think they already should know the answer to. Well, we're going to fix that today because at the end of the day, we should not be answering any question that somebody should already know the answer to. So I'm going to walk you through how to get rid of that. And number three, are you just simply drained? I mean, gosh, I know what I was when I first started my business. Are you drained from generating all of the sales to float your business? Because that's one of the issues, right? You kind of feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. I've got to be the CEO, the COO, the operations manager, the customer service rep, the account rep, the marketing coordinator, the sales coordinator. Gosh, just going through these roles is even making me exhausted. What I'm saying is that doesn't have to be the rest of your life. And you're going to have to be equipped with knowledge today to say, look, if we implement this, or if I help you implement this, which will make your life a whole heck of a lot easier and completely reduce your learning curve to almost next to nothing, you actually will be able to get to the point where you're no longer drained by your business. Imagine that. Number four, do you wonder what it would be like if you had the right team? In other words, if you could imagine the right team for your business to where it would allow you to do the things that you love to do versus have to do, gosh, doesn't that sound awesome? Number 5, are you frustrated by how difficult it is to get things done in your business? When I first met one of the clients that we work with, which I'll talk about later, they said, Charles, even the simplest things, in my mind, the simplest things are difficult to actually get done. So are you frustrated with that? And finally, do you miss out? And this one just breaks my heart, y'all, because you know what? At the end of the day, our kids are kids for a very brief period of time. And the one asset that we could never ever get back is our time. So this one breaks my heart. Do you miss out on weekends, family time, and fun activities because your work is simply never done? Well, there's hope, y'all. We're going to walk you through how to get your life back, scale your business, and free up your time. But here's the real issue, ladies and gentlemen. Those things that I just talked about, those 6 things that I just walked you through, is not the real problem. The real issue is you have not made the 5 shifts. Okay? So everything I just spoke about, all those frustrations, those stresses, those anxieties, things that want to make you pull your hair out and just call it quits one day, those are just symptoms of a much, much deeper problem. And we're going to go through those today. But before I do, I want to walk you through who the heck I am. Like I said earlier, I'm Charles Alvarez. I'm the CEO of Cornerstone here in Houston. And I have helped, and my team has helped, over 112 business owners scale their business and free up their time. So this basically means, look, we know what we're doing. Number 2, we have allowed multiple business owners to open up offices around the country. As a matter of fact, I have one client that wants to open up an office in Milan, Italy. And here's the thing. Most of our prospects or most of our clients, when we first meet them, they said, Charles, I am so sick and tired of my business. Just get it to the point where I can sell this stupid thing. Here's what we find after we implement the strategies that we're talking about here today. What happens is after the consulting relationship is over, after we implement it for them, I say, okay, well, you ready to start your business? And they're like, no way. Are you kidding me? I'm finally get to the point where I'm working on the business versus in the business. My team is effective. I'm no longer responsible for all the sales. And when I get sales, that doesn't mean more work for me. Can't remember the last time I worked more than 40, 45 hours a week. Heck no. I just want to see what else we can do. So, like I said, I've allowed multiple business owners to open up multiple offices and not sell their business for pennies on the dollar. Lastly, I have over 21 years of business consulting experience. So, just to give you a little idea of who I am. So, now let's go into what are the 5 shifts that a business owner must do to take their business to the next level. Here's number 1. We've got to set the right expectations. Here's what I mean by that. Gosh, I guess I can't talk today. If the expectations to your team, to each role in your organization, if they're not set in an objective, specific, and measurable manner, your employees are left to their own devices. And oftentimes their own devices are absolutely awful, terrible. Like, my gosh, how did you graduate college? Kind of awful. So that is the key element. We tell our clients we've got to be SMT. That stands for specific, measurable, and time-bound expectations. The main reason, listen to me carefully, y'all. The main reason employers have underperforming employees is because business owners fail to adequately teach their expertise and their expectations to their team. In other words, nobody really knows what it takes to please the boss. I think sometimes you just think that they should get it by osmosis. That's not how it works, ladies and gentlemen. We have to set clear expectations with each member of our team and each role of our team, regardless if they're a W-2 employee or a 1099. In my opinion, there's no difference between a W-2 and a 1099 employee or service provider because each of them are supposed to drive results that you want them to deliver to your business. So here's how fun setting the right expectation works. So this is Jean Johnson. She's the owner of a wonderful company called Prism. Prism does renderings for architects and for developers that want to be able to showcase their concept or their idea without having to do it themselves. So in other words, they basically show the concept of the real estate to investors or to eventual end users. So when I met her, she was working 80 hours a week. 80 hours. And this is the worst part. She was missing a ton of time and special events with her two sons, which by the way were on their way to college. So these were like the prime years. She wanted to make sure she got it right with her sons. After just 9 months of consulting with her, and by the way, it doesn't take 9 months. This is just when I was working with her. We've actually gotten down to where most of our clients are scaling in 8 to 10 weeks. But anyway, I digress. After 9 months of consulting, her company grew 78%, all the while Jing was not working more than 45 hours a week. As a matter of fact, oftentimes he was working less than 45 hours a week, just by setting the right expectations with her team members and each role in her team. So here's the takeaway from setting the right expectation. For each person and each role in your organization, establish 3 specific, measurable, and time-bound results you expect from each role in your organization, and then set up a weekly accountability meeting to go over those expectations with your team members. Peter Drucker said, you must inspect what you expect. You cannot abdicate. Abdicate is, here, go do it. Let me know if you need anything. No, no, no. That is not delegation, ladies and gentlemen. Delegation is the art of setting specific, measurable, and time-bound results, and then holding your team accountable to those results on a consistent weekly basis. So that's the first shift. We must set the right expectations. Number 2, stop going at it alone. When we go through life for the better part of our 22 years, we basically are taught the value of doing it ourselves. Some fathers even say, you know what, son, if you got to do it, if you're going to do it right, or if you want to get it done right, you've got to do it yourself. Although that is correct in junior high, high school, and college, and the first 5-7 years of your career, that is absolutely not the best advice when you're trying to lead your company and get to the point where you're scaling your business and freeing up your time. So check this out, y'all, and listen to me very carefully when I say this. 90% of businesses fail due to the following factors. In other words, we want to avoid these things, okay? Number 1, poor leadership. In other words, what's happening is the business owner is not in a position to where they're leading the company because they are so involved in the day-to-day aspects of the business. So that's number 1, poor leadership. Number 2, no differentiation whatsoever from competitors. In other words, nobody can tell the difference of your services or your product from your closest 2 or 3 competitors. As a matter of fact, in 2012, MIT did a study of 635 privately held companies to determine how good of a job they communicate their differentiation to their target market. What they found, and the results were pathetic, it was just awful. What they found is that only about 2.7% of the businesses surveyed do a good job of differentiating themselves and communicating that differentiation to their target market. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't differentiate, you turn yourself into a commodity company. If you're a commodity company, then basically you're in a price war. And if you're in a price war, it's a race to the bottom and it's miserable. Don't do that. Find something that differentiates yourself from your competitors. You'll thank yourself profusely for it, or let us help you do that. Number 3, you're out of touch with customer needs. And actually, this makes perfect sense if you think about it. Like many business owners that are overwhelmed, frustrated, working long hours, and just tired, sometimes the basics go out the window and we lose touch with our customer needs, with the market, with what the market wants, with the shifts and the changes going in the marketplace. So the third reason is we stay out of touch with customer needs. Number 4, an unprofitable business model. If you have a business model to where it is not providing you the profitability that you need in order to accomplish your lifestyle goals, then that's a problem. And then lastly, poor financial management. In other words, if there aren't any controls around your financing, if there isn't any accountability with your financing, if you're not doing financial projections to determine what direction you want to take your company in, that is one of the 5 factors that lead to failure. Here's the thing, y'all. Those are a lot of things, right? Here's the problem. You can't be an expert at financial management, marketing, operations, and leadership. You just can't. I know that most business owners think they're Superman or Superwoman, but I'm sorry. The way God has made us, there's only so much a man can take. All right? So you cannot be an expert at all of those things. So let me walk you through the power of stop going out alone. This is Jeffrey Abel. When I first met Jeffrey, he had 21 employees doing 1.9 million in sales. Got a lot of clients. A lot of people would say, wow, he's doing really good. Hold your horses. Unfortunately, the business was plagued with unengaged employees and very high turnover because he was trying to do everything himself. Once we identified all of the things necessary to help his business scale, and we set expectations, and we started delegating tasks that was not his forte, and after we helped him implement the concepts we're sharing with you now, he grew his business to include 45 employees, up from 21 when I first met him, and he's opened up 2 additional offices, one in Austin, one in Denver. And now Jeffrey enjoys taking a month off in the summer. This is real life, folks. This isn't just some pipe dream. This is what actually happened. And at the end of the day, this is your opportunity. Here's the thing, y'all. This is the only bad thing about this webinar. Once I equip you with this information, now you actually have a choice. Choice number 1, continue doing what you're doing and continue to be miserable. Choice number 2, do something about it, and we'll walk you through what that might look like towards the end of this webinar. So that's number 2. Number 3 is stop thinking small. You know, I know you're exhausted. I know you're tired. Gosh, I've been there, and it's depressing. But at the end of the day, we've got to stop thinking small. Negative thinking will absolutely destroy you and your business. And guess what? I've been there. So here's an interesting fact. Let me take a quick sip here just so that I continue to be able to talk. Ernst & Young every single year does a growth forum for small business owners in Palm Springs. And they noted that the first shift that needs to occur, the very first shift, is that the business owner needs to grow. In order for a business owner to grow, is for the business owner to expand his or her mindset and think big. If you're just thinking, gosh, if I can just make it to one kid's baseball game, I'll be happy. Or if I can just have one of my employees do their job, I'll be thankful. You're thinking way too small. Expand your mindset, expand your focus, because nothing's going to change in your business until your mindset shifts to start thinking bigger and not accept status quo. So, are your fears holding you back? For example, here are the 3 common fears. These fears have killed more businesses than anything else. Number 1 is the fear of failure. What happens if I try something new and it doesn't work? Let me ask you a question. What happens if you try something new and it does work? Number 2, fear of criticism. Oh man, if I start thinking big, what are my parents going to think? What's my spouse going to think? What are my kids going to think? What are my workers going to think? Who cares? This is your business. It's nobody else's business. This is yours. And that fear of criticism, being laughed at, that hey, I actually want to think big. I want to actually accomplish my goals and actually want to get there. You know, they say misery loves company. If you've got misery as company, you need to find new company. So fear of criticism is just awful and it will absolutely hold you back. And then of course, the fear of rejection. What happens if I try this, or if I try to scale my business, or if I try to change things around here, my employees won't buy in? They'll buy in because once they see the opportunity for them to grow, they'll be ecstatic, absolutely ecstatic. Those 3 things are going to keep me and keep you from reaching your full potential and enjoying the true benefits that true business ownership has to offer you and has to offer me. And here's the best way to start overcoming those three fears is set a goal that stretches you yet is achievable. In other words, think about it this way. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being it's a cinch to get that goal, to 10 being there's no way on God's green earth that's going to happen. You want to set a goal that's like a 5 to a 7. In other words, you believe you can achieve it, but it's going to require you to stretch yourself to get there. Those are the exciting goals that will keep those fears of failure not necessarily out of play, but that will be the sword or the offensive weapon that you'll use to combat those three fears. Brian Tracy, who is my personal mentor that I've had the pleasure of working with, and as a matter of fact, we use his process with our clients because he's been doing it for 38 years and has helped over 5,000 business owners. He said, look, Charles, what you want to do is set your goal. What is it? What is the clear, specific, measurable, time-bound goal you want? And then do something, even if it's small, do something every single day to get you to your goal. So setting a goal puts those three fears at bay. So that's stop thinking small. Number 4 is create a business development machine. And if I could add one qualifier to this slide, create a business development machine that doesn't require your presence. What do I mean by that? Here's what I mean. Many businesses only rely on old school ways of lead generation, which are very inefficient, time intensive, and can we just say exhausting? I mean, really, do you really want to go to those after hours networking events? Ugh, kill me now. Do you really want to go to another boring lunch with, cold rubber chicken? Please. I mean, don't we have better things to do? But many businesses still are relying on those old school way of lead generation, which is cold calling, networking, and word of mouth. Here's the issue with that. Those three strategies are very time intensive, and one of them requires somebody else to do something to generate a lead, like that word of mouth one. In other words, somebody else has to remember how good you treated them and then remember to refer you to a friend. Here's the thing, y'all. People have their own things to worry about. And oftentimes, they're simply just not going to remember. So we need a proactive process because these practices are not going to allow you to scale. And they also create uneven cash flow because you don't have a predictable and dependable business development machine that you can rely on that generate leads and closes those leads to sales in a predictable and consistent manner. So if you continue to rely on these passive marketing strategies, you're never going to get to the point where you scale your business. You're going to have a really, really hard time. However, if you start implementing proactive outside selling systems using or leveraging technologies such as LinkedIn or Facebook, depending on where your target market is, that's when you'll be able to truly scale your business because you're using technology and a process or a system to generate leads and close sales without you having to be present or without you having to rely on somebody else to give you a lead. That's what builds businesses. That's what builds brands. That's what builds freedom in your business. If you don't have the front end lead generation and selling system in place, you're never going to be able to hire the people on the back end in the operations to help fulfill services. So, and also, you're not going to have the peace of mind to hire operational people if you don't have any matrix on the effectiveness and also the predictability of your lead generation system and your selling system. So, the old way is passive referrals, word of mouth, and networking. New way is a proactive referral process, remarketing to your existing clients, pay-per-click, and LinkedIn marketing. If you are a business to business, that's a lot of business in one sentence. Anyway, sorry, I digress. But anyway, if you're marketing to other businesses, LinkedIn, we've come up with a LinkedIn process that is second to none at nurturing and generating leads and sales opportunities using LinkedIn. I would say 90 to 95% of people use LinkedIn incorrectly. They try to sell you something. That's not the way to do it. LinkedIn marketing, if you sell to other businesses, is absolutely crucial to having a predictable and consistent flow of leads into your business. If you're marketing to consumers, we have found some excellent results with Facebook because that's where consumers hang out, right? So you've got to have a proactive system to generate leads and close sales. Speaking of generating leads and closing sales, this is Jared Aden. When I first met Jared, his business was stagnant. I mean, can you relate? I mean, oftentimes when you are the business, your business stagnates, right? Because at the end of the day, there's only so much a man can do or a woman can do, right? So he was having a really hard time increasing sales in his engineering business. So we implemented for him the things we just talked about, that proactive selling system. And after 6 months of consulting, Lens Engineering increased new proposal volume by 250%. 250%. Not bad for 6 months of work. So here's the last thing, investing in mentoring. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody that you know, hint, hint, probably has made all the mistakes or most of the mistakes and even continue to make the mistakes of what it takes to get somebody from point A to point B. You've got to invest in mentoring. Nobody ever got quickly to their destination by trial and error on themselves without consulting experts in the field. Here's the thing, and just ask yourself this question. Are there new ideas right now in your brain that would not have been there except for you making the time to be listening to this webinar? Think about that for a second. Have we covered something new? You're like, wow, I didn't think about that. Or wow, I didn't think about that there's actually people out there that actually can help us implement all this stuff, which means I don't have to add a whole bunch of new stuff to my already awful load. A good mentor is also going to organize a group of people to kind of lock arms with so that we can support each other, help each other as we go into that destiny, into reaching our goal, which is to scale up our business and free up our time. Investing in mentoring can take years off your goal attainment and make the process smoother with a lot less headaches. I mean, my goodness, don't you have enough headaches and stresses in your life as it is? Do you really need to have another one? So investing in mentoring takes years off of it and makes the process significantly easier. I've had mentors that have invested in me and taught me and really showed me the ropes, and I will tell you to this day, I would not trade them for anything. They have been invaluable in helping me get to the point that we're now at. So, as we summarize, there are 5 shifts that you need to make to get out of that fishbowl. That's kind of cool. That's a good picture. So here are the 5 things one more time. Number 1, set the right expectations with your team in a manner that's specific, measurable, and time-bound. Number 2, stop choking your team's success. You can't go at it alone. We got to delegate to your team members so that you can work on the business versus in the business. Number 3, you got to stop thinking small. No business that I've ever worked with has seen meaningful results until the business owner has first stopped thinking small and started to expand their scope and their context. So that's number 3. Number 4, create a business development machine. I mean, imagine coming into your office one day with 13 new leads and 6 new sales, and you have no idea who those people or who those businesses are. That's a scalable business, ladies and gentlemen. And number 5, invest in mentoring. Don't try to learn something new. There are people out there that know more about what you need to know to get to the next level in their left pinky than you know in your entire body. And the same is true vice versa. You in your business know things in your left pinky that I don't know in my entire body. However, in this world, to get to the next level, it truly takes an army. It takes a team. You can't do it by yourself. Invest in mentoring. So here's why we're doing this webinar in the first place. First and foremost, I really hate seeing business owners struggle. I mean, my gosh, the marriages that have been broken, the frustrations, the depression that I've seen is just awful. And the thing is, there is a solution. You don't have to continue to accept this as the status quo of your life. Because at the end of the day, if you continue doing the things that you're doing and expect different results, that's the definition of insanity. There actually is a way to scale your business and free up your time that has been proven and consistently work and have stood the test of time. The second reason is our motto, which is deliver freedom to business owners. That's why we're in business. So if you're ready, you know what? Let's do it. Let's scale your business and free up your time. Are you ready to say, you know what? this stress, this frustration, this anxiety, this cycle that I'm in, this adult daycare that I run. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm ready for the next chapter. And you know what? I'm so sick and tired of being at the same place over and over again. I'm ready for new scenery. In other words, I'm ready for new scenery. So here's what I'm going to offer you. I have allocated time over the next few weeks, my time, to have a conversation with you to discuss implementing these strategies for your business. You don't need to go it alone. You don't have to sit there and do it all yourself. Our team is equipped to help you implement these strategies and to implement these strategies so that you don't have to. Because at the end of the day, we know what we're doing. And we've done this for over 100 business owners. And we think it's also vital that we do it for you because your life truly does depend on it. Your family life, your married life, your fun life, your the things that you love to do. I can't even think of the word anymore. But anyway, it's getting your life back. Isn't that worth a 45-minute to hour call to talk about how to get your life back? So, in order to do so, here's how it works. First and foremost, you're going to excuse me, you're going to fill out an application, which you can reach by simply clicking the button below. When you click that button, you're going to go to a one-page application that's going to ask you about 12 or 13 things about your business that shouldn't take you any more than about 5 or 10 minutes to fill out. Because here's the thing, when you and I actually get on the phone, I don't want to spend a lot of time just kind of getting to know some of the basic information. I want to become equipped saying, okay, I understand your business, I understand what you're going through. Let's now talk about what we need to do, about what we need to do to get you to the point to where you're now scaling your business and freeing up your time. So go ahead and click that button now because at the end of the day, you now have two choices. You can either continue doing what you're doing and continue living in business hell, or you can get to business heaven by clicking the button below and taking the next necessary step to scaling your business and freeing up your time. So click the button below, or here is the actual place that it takes you. If you're one of those types that likes to write out the domain name, here it is now. But go ahead and apply now. After you apply, you will also be taken to my calendar where you can select a date and time that works best for you so that we can scale your business and free up your time. I hope this call was immensely helpful to you. I hope you came out with ideas that you never thought of or considered, or just came out with the hope, you know what? I actually found someone that can actually help me get to the next level. And we would be thrilled to jump on a call with you and help you get to the next level. So if you're ready to take the next step, either click the button below or apply now by going to the domain name you see on this. Hope this was a valuable 45 minutes. Have an excellent rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.